Good day. It's been a couple of days since I made my last video, so let's start out. It's December 11th, 2021 in Joe Biden's America, and I'm recording this in the free state of Arizona. So the things I'm going to talk about today are the Democrats' army, which is ANTiFA and BLM. They're sponsored by the Democrats, they're approved by the Democrats, and they carry out the Democrats' violence just like the KKK used to. And then we're going to talk about contrasting the Democrats and their army and their supporters with the conservatives, the Trump supporters. The deep state Republicans, the rhinos, I've got no use for them, so screw them. And then we'll talk about how the left sees the right versus how the right sees the left. So let's get started with the Democrats' army and ANTiFA and BLM. ANTiFA are not anti-fascists. ANTiFA was actually started in Nazi Germany. That's where they got their roots. Fascists behave just like ANTiFA. They think that because they call themselves anti-fascists, that people are going to think that they're doing good. And that it's okay to be ANTiFA, rah-rah ANTiFA. But all they like to do is cause violence. So I've got a couple of images I'm going to throw up, and you'll be able to see the type of stuff that ANTiFA likes to do.
We hear a lot about what happened on the 6th of January in D.C. All the actions of that day and more occurred for months on end in Portland. Here's some undercover video that I recorded last year. So a barrier was erected to protect the federal courthouse, much like what we see in front of the Capitol today. And there were thousands of people who came night after night to try to burn that building down. They came with power tools, as you see here, to cut into the fence. And when that was unsuccessful, they later attached ropes around strategic parts of the fence and used hundreds of people to break it apart, which was successful. If you read the headlines at that time, they were echoing what the mayor, the governor, the two senators, and others were saying in Oregon, which is that these were protesters responding to Trump's Gestapo, secret police that were disappearing people. Those comments incited more violence and allowed it to continue night after night after night.
BLM, Black Lives Matter. That's an honest statement. Black lives do matter, but then so do white lives, Asian lives, Hispanic lives, European lives, white lives, all lives matter. The whole BLM thing is basically bullshit. BLM is a communist organization that wants to get rid of the nuclear family, and they want socialism and communism. They want to destroy America. That is their goal in life. So they will walk around and they will attack white people. They will go into outdoor seating at restaurants. They'll sit down. They'll make themselves a nuisance. And the thing is they get away with it because people are afraid to stand up for themselves because they will be canceled. They've all got all these BLM people, they've all got their little cell phones out. They're recording everything. So it's 20%, not even 20%, maybe 5% of the country is driving the other 95%. And that 95% needs to stand up and say, this is bullshit. We've had enough. We're not going to take it anymore. You're not going to sit at my table. You're not going to drink my drink. You're not going to eat my food. Okay? It's time that we, the patriotic Americans on the right, need to start taking action. So let's contrast the Trump supporters with the Democrats and the Democrat supporters. Trump supporters gather huge amounts of people. They're happy to see each other. They're celebrating. And when they're all done, they pick up their trash, they throw it in the trash receptacles, and they go peacefully on their way. The Democrat supporters, ANTiFA, BLM, and then the crazy socialist loons on the left, which is they own the party now, they'll go wherever they want to go. They'll gather, they'll protest, they'll throw their trash on the ground. And I'm not making this up. There's pictures of the Capitol grounds after the Democrats have gotten done doing their protesting and their gathering. And they basically trash the place because they're too good to pick up their trash. They figure that there's some public servants out there that are going to pick it up for them. So why not let them do their job? A lot of times what you've got on the left is you've got some moron with a microphone or a megaphone, and they're basically, they'll yell something and then the crowd will repeat it. And they'll yell something and the crowd will repeat it. Low intelligence. Just in order to be a Democrat and follow what the Democrats are doing these days, you have got to be someone that is low IQ, or you're living in the Matrix and you haven't got any idea at all what's going on around you. So, how the left sees the right, how the right sees the left. When the people on the right, the conservatives, when we look at somebody on the left, we look at basically good people with bad ideas. You know, you're a good person. Your ideas are just wrong for this country. When the left looks at the right, what they see is bad people with bad ideas. They think that if you don't think like them, if you're not in lockstep with the Democrat Borg and the progressive socialist message, then you're a bad person. They're supposed to be all for tolerance and diversity, but their diversity only goes as far as, does your opinion, your idea, and your actions fall in lockstep with theirs? They don't believe in diversity of thought. They don't believe in diversity of opinion or diversity of action. It's their way, and that's the only way. So we need to get together. We need to stand up. The silent majority cannot afford to keep silent any longer, because if we do, we will not have a country to save. We are allowing this minority of people to drive this country over the cliff. And the Rhino Republicans in Washington, like Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy, they're just sitting back and they're just mouthing the words, and they'll protest every now and then and say, oh, you can't do that. But they really don't care. As long as they keep getting their paycheck and they keep getting elected, they could give a shit what happens to the country, because they figure they're taken care of. The deep state exists. The deep state is real. And we need to squash the deep state. We need to get rid of it. I thank you for watching. I thank you for listening. May God bless you and may God bless your family. If you are a Christian and believe in celebrating Christmas, then I hope you have a very merry, happy, joyous, and healthy Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, then I hope you have a wonderful Hanukkah. If you're another religion that has a celebration around this time of year, then I hope that you and your family have a very happy celebration. May God bless America, and may God protect us from Joe Biden, the Democrats, and all the other morons that are trying to destroy this country. Thank you.